What's up, guys? Jeff Cavalier, ATHLEAN-X.com. So if you have 10 minutes here today, I promise you one thing. I am going to help you to annihilate your shoulders. You're welcome. The thing is, I'm actually going to give you a choice of how to do it. You can pick your poison. You either go the heavier route or the lighter route. You see, because I get it. You're training at home. Maybe you don't have all the options you did at the gym. But I don't have huge expectations here. All you need to have is either a pair of light dumbbells or a single heavier dumbbell. A lot of us have that. It's kind of just sitting in the closet. Break out either one, and I promise to get you to the same end point, and that is, like I said, annihilated shoulders in just 10 minutes. So with that being said, I want to start breaking down the paths. Whichever one you choose, get ready to work. All right, so let's start off with that lighter route. When I talk about lighter, by the way, we're qualifying it. These are not absolute terms. Lighter is lighter than the heavier route, and heavier is heavier than the lighter route. If we were going absolutely heavy, then we'd be trying to train for strength, and our rest periods would be a lot longer, and the goals of our workout would be different. We're going for hypertrophy, and we're using what we have at our disposal, which is that lighter or heavier option. So for those lighter weights, here's what you're going to do. You're going to do one exercise here for 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off, and immediately repeat a second round of that. Okay? Then you're going to perform, as you see here, 5 total combinations for a duration of 10 minutes. And what we're trying to seek out here is something called metabolic overload. And it's beautiful that we have these quick, short little rest periods because it's going to enhance the effect of the metabolic overload. You do your 45 seconds of rest, you get that brief rest just to shake out the burn, and you bring it right back again and see if you can get through another 45 seconds of this. Is it tough? Yes. Is it capable of delivering hypertrophy? Yes. So you might as well pursue it, guys, and push yourself through it as much as you can. What are the exercise options? Well, we start right here with our first one, the 1.5 lateral raise, where we're really trying to get a focused contraction of the delt to lift the weight up. And not just to lift it, but to control it halfway down and then back up again. Zero momentum. We force the middle delt to do the work here, and that in and of itself is probably a new stimulus that a lot of us aren't used to. Remember, 2 rounds of this, we move on to the next exercise, which is the H raise. So here I'm just using a chair as a prop, and I'm using it as a target to force me to stay at a certain height here and make the front delts continue to work throughout every single repetition. So I raise up the sides of the chair. I have to come over the top where my delts are working their hardest to maintain that long moment arm. I shorten it for a brief second, go back out to that long moment arm, back to the sides, and back down. Again, remember, repeating this for 45 seconds on, a brief 15-second rest, and another round. You move on to the third exercise here, and this is the W raise. So now we're shifting the focus a little bit more to the rear delts. And what we do here out of a kneeling position is simply allow our arms to come back behind us where we're trying to let the thumbs beat the elbows, right? We're trying to let the hands beat the elbows. Keep the elbows down as low as you can. If you can see when you come around the side here that this creates a W with the arms. And what it gets is additional external rotation at the shoulder. So not only are we hitting those rear delts, but we're also hitting the supporting muscles, namely the rotator cuff, that makes this really an effective exercise, especially again if you're not hitting these muscles often enough. The fourth exercise in this workout is something we call the Urlacher. Now this one I'm doing sitting on the edge of a chair, but again, you can do this one from a kneeling position as well. It starts off as a little bit of a bicep hammer curl, but it quickly turns into this external rotation, side lateral raise combination. It feels much different than the W raise simply because the position of our body has changed, and because of that, the impact it has on the middle delt is more pronounced as opposed to the rear delt. But either way, you're going to feel this one with a tight contraction at the top, and again, 45 seconds on, 15 off, 2 rounds. Before we wrap up here with our final exercise in this 10-minute workout, and that is with the kneeling speed press. Now this looks rather easy. Now this would be rather easy considering you're probably a hell of a lot stronger than the light dumbbells you're pressing overhead. But when you add the speed component, and you add the power component to this, it becomes much more difficult. 45 seconds, yeah, sure, you can get through it. 15-second rest. By the time you're going through the second round, you're kind of gasping for a little bit of air here and wishing you could stop. Don't do it. Finish out the workout strong, guys. This is a quick and easy way for you to cycle through this to blast those shoulders without needing very much weight at all. Now, for those of you out there that are looking to go the other route and use the heavy dumbbell, I got something for you too, just 10 minutes also. The goal here is that you're going to perform each of these exercises for 1 minute and earn a 1-minute rest period. That means 2 minutes per exercise. You're going to work your way all the way down until we have something special for you saved up on the very last minute of this workout. But the goal is to use a heavier dumbbell and to actually share the load between the two arms by performing those things that can be performed in alternating fashion so that we ensure that we're getting around 10 or 12 repetitions on each arm throughout the duration of the 1 minute period. If you do have to rest in any period, keep it to a rest pause, get right back at it, and make sure you're working for as much of the 1 minute period as you can. First up in terms of the exercises is the cheat lateral raise. So here we're actually capable of taking advantage of the heavier weight to get a little bit of extra momentum, to get that weight up, and then force the eccentric control of the weight on the way down. Remember, we talked about alternative ways to stimulate hypertrophy. Eccentric muscle stimulus is one of the best ways to do it. So we're trying to control the descent of that dumbbell and switch hands each and every repetition. Right arm, left arm, 1 minute on. When you're done, you get a full 1 minute rest. We move on to the next exercise, and that is the alternating single arm clean and press. So you take this one all the way down to the floor, explosively clean it up to your shoulder, press it up overhead, back down, switch arms, and continue to do this both sides. Now, with this being a slightly longer exercise to perform each and every repetition, you might get a few less reps, but don't worry about it. The key is high effort for the entire 1 minute. The third exercise up here is the alternating single arm high pull. So instead of bringing it up and actually pressing it up overhead, now we're just concentrating on the pull portion, bringing it all the way up to shoulder height. The key thing I want you to focus on here is the position and the relative position of the elbow in relation to the hand and wrist. The elbow is lower than the wrist. This is not, I repeat, not and never will be an upright row. You don't want the elbow traveling higher than the wrist like it does in an upright row. Instead, when we do this and we flip that around and have the wrist higher than the elbow, we've got actual external rotation instead of internal rotation and elevation on the shoulder, which is much healthier and a better option and still capable of delivering those muscle gains that you're training for. So here we move on to the fourth exercise, and that is the grave digger. So we kneel down and we simply bring the dumbbell up to that shoulder, press up and over. Remember, you're sharing the load here now by being able to split the weight and the load of the weight because you're holding onto it with two hands. At this point in the workout, though, this is conveniently timed to still be able to deliver that stimulus of overload because it's going to feel a lot heavier than it is because you're already 4 exercises deep. 1 minute on here and 1 minute off. And you come to our last dumbbell exercise here, and that is the dumbbell press out. And this one's great because we're taking advantage of the fact that we can lengthen and shorten the moment arm of that dumbbell by extending your arms out or bringing it closer to your chest. When it's closer to your chest, you have a bit of a reprieve. You don't feel the full weight of that dumbbell because of that shortened moment arm, so it allows you a brief rest before you have to press it back out again. You rep it out, this one for 45 seconds. Because see here, you get just a 15-second rest before you have to do the last thing here in this workout, and that is a final burnout. Get rid of the dumbbell, drop down to the ground, do this body weight push-away press, see if you can last every grueling second to the very end. And if you do, you're going to wind up like I am here on the floor. You see, it doesn't matter which way you go, which poison you pick. The end goal is that your shoulders are fried here in just 10 minutes, proving yet again that it's not how long you train for, it's what you do in the time that you train that matters. If you're looking for workouts that optimize the time that you train so you don't sit here and train for hours and hours on end without necessarily getting the results that you want to see, then head to ATHLEAN-X.com because we show you how to put your money where your mouth is. You train long, you train hard, but you can't do both. I'm going to show you how to train hard. All of our programs are available at ATHLEAN-X.com. If you found the video helpful, leave your comments and thumbs up below. Let me know what I want to cover, and I'll do my best to do that. If you want more in this series, let me know. I'll do that too. In the meantime, if you haven't already done so, click subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss a new video when we put one out. All right, guys, see you soon.